is we didn't. Our decision is not a conditional decision; it is a final decision. All those other items are items that we will monitor with us during the MYPD period, and it's items that we believe are critical in ensuring security supply in the country, and it's some items that we as a regulator will focus on. And I think there was a question from the Popo, or is it answered? Million Daniel, let's get the Popo. We have answered. Yeah. Okay.
Can we have the last round questions? The last round. Yeah. I see 2 hands. 1, and then the third.
Thank you very much.
3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 4. Going. 1. Okay. Start.
Hello again, Alex from Reuters. The question is about the economic impact assessment, which you said you conducted about this this decision on the percentage tariff increases. What was your conclusion about these tariff increases that you've granted? What will the effect be on, say, energy-intensive users? The mining industry, I can imagine, are about to issue a statement. Yeah, what did your impact assessment find? Thank you.
Nadine from SABC TV. Don't you think this increase is excessive, considering the fact that many consumers are already battling to make ends meet?
Mr. Chairman, it's me again, Ket Long. I find it very difficult, given that in the hearings admonished Eskom, the public has admonished Eskom, Parliament has done so. There are 5 different teams of, audits and direction and heavens knows what all, which shows to me there's something drastically wrong with this animal. This animal is inefficient, it's corrupt, it's been corrupt for more than 10 years, as I will eventually prove to the Zonda Commission. The assets are double, they're coming in at double the cost budgeted, etc. And today, Nersa says, well done guys, we're giving you inflation plus 50%. If that isn't the wrong message, and I'm not sure, then there's something wrong with my mind. Thank you.
Justin Rowe from City Press. There were some queries during the hearings about the valuation of Eskom's assets. Did you agree with the way Eskom valued assets, or was there any differences? And if there was any differences, what is the extent of the differences and why? How did you disagree with Eskom, if there was any disagreement?
Right. Once again, I'll ask Ms. Maseki, just the economic impact assessment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Modise. We have conducted the economic impact assessment. I think some of the details will come from the record of decision. But there were things that we were looking at. First of all, the sectoral impact, which was also very critical because most of the stakeholders attended the public hearings. They indicated clearly what the impact of the double-digit increase will be on their processes and business. So yes, obviously there will be an impact. Whether it was a 2% or 5% increase, the impact would have been there. The question is the extent of that impact, and not only that, but also the issue of sustainability and affordability from both parties. That is Eskom and the stakeholders. So yes, we have looked into that, but I think we've drawn some scenarios. So you get to a point where you see, the balanced outcome in a way, and because that's what you're supposed to do. Because our role is making sure that you balance the interest of various stakeholders. And as you do that, the various stakeholders, so when you look at the interest of Eskom in terms of its financial sustainability and being able to still provide the service that we need in the country. But also you look at the stakeholders, the affordability, the extent of security of supply, as well as the facilitation of investment. So we have tried to sort of mitigate that impact. Hence, we ended up with the single-digit increases that we have approved, as opposed to the double-digit. So we have balanced that interest, the impact that would have been there. So that would be the answer, Mr. Modise. But I mean, there's a number of variables that we have considered in different scenarios. The GDP, but then when you come to the GDP, it's a circularity problem, you know, because the electricity prices will cause into it, and also if there's slowdown in economic growth as well, that also affects the productivity and the output and the extent to which they will consume electricity. So you do have the circularity problem. Also, we look into the inflation, and those are some of the things that we check the extent to which they could impact the South African public. But the public interest standard was quite important for us as well in consideration of the economic impact.
And I think the next question from the lady from the SABC, whether the increases are excessive. Then I deal with it, Mr. Fodi. Maybe let me just start by saying this. At the beginning of my statement, I indicated, in fact I quoted X sections of our Electricity Regulation Act that requires of us to do certain things. And we indicated, starting perhaps with the last one first, that we have to balance the interests of customers and end users, licensees, and investors in the electric supply industry and the public. So, you know, our decisions are always a balance. And remember, some of those objectives require of us to encourage competition within the sector, end user choice, universal access, but also ensure that continued investment in electric supply industry. And so we cannot be one-sided when we make a decision. It's always a balance. And our regulatory methodology requires that a licensee not only recover the cost and make some return, but we do then have consideration to some of those socio-economic factors, the economy, and so it's always a balance, as we have said, and we'll never satisfy everybody. But we satisfy that in accordance with our methodology, the outcome is a fair and reasonable one that we've arrived at.
I think if we look at it, whether I think the most difficult part will be your measure of excessiveness. How do you measure it? What is it that you're going to measure it against? Because if, for instance, we say we didn't get to the double digit, and secondly, if you look at the 3 years, the first year, yes, it's slightly high, it's above inflation. You go to the second year, 8.1%, and then you go to the third year. Now when you get to the third year, you can see that it's probably below inflation because it's 5.22%, I think. Yes, the increase for the third year, Mr. Tedbrock, the increase for the third year is 5.22, unless I don't know.
Cumulative, ma'am, it's cumulative.
Oh, yes, I'm just saying that once you look at the facts for each of the years to say how much revenue you need. But then some of these things will have to be addressed as well in terms of some of the socio-economic objectives, but not also only socio-economic objectives, but also economic factors affecting sectors, because then that will also be an issue. So it will need to be addressed by other measures or policy measures and other initiatives that are in place to try and cushion the industry players from the increase. But it is not an admission to say it is excessive. In our view, it's sort of going down for the next 3 years, and yes, it's just above inflation.
And perhaps just to add one issue that Mr. Blom, we don't, as a regulator, we don't make policy, we implement policy. So a lot of the issues that perhaps arise out of whether the Zondo Commission belong elsewhere in terms of addressing, we will address those that affect the work that we do, and especially as mandated by the legislation. And then from the CIP2 press valuation of Eskom assets, Chris, you want us to give an opportunity? This message.
Chairperson, I think it is very clear, even from the decision itself. You know, the MYPD it's a forward-looking. So it's not as if these are costs, some of them are costs that have been incurred already. So that tells you that you may allow certain amounts, but those will be subject to audits as well as the prudency and further valuation, because it's a forward-looking. But you can tell from what we stated, we were concerned about the fact that there's a huge increase. If we look at the previous years, there was a huge increase in the REB for Eskom, and that remains a concern. And we looked previously and we said, what could have caused this considerable amount of increase in the REB? And that is what we're going to, it's going to be our starting point. Now, we also going to look into the Ernst & Young report, which valued the assets around 800 billion, and say, how did they arrive at that? And it's not to say that we're accepting it, but we're looking at that, and that is a concern. Now, as you're sitting at the Ernst & Young report, now you get Eskom taking the RAB further to 1 trillion. And that obviously tells you that the information that is before the regulator, really, it needs further scrutiny on its own, and it must be a focused assessment and valuation. Hence this decision here. And remember also, we are saying in terms of this decision, to show that we're not agreeing with this, we are saying we expected Eskom, first of all, to remove from this RAB values associated with the units that they say are in inoperable state. That's number one. And then also number two, units that are on cold reserve, they must remove that from the RAB, right? And then also we're saying to them, well, MYPD and Usile is not performing very well. Tell us, how are you going to repair all of these defects and all of that? And why should you value it at the amount that it is at the moment, if these units are not performing the way that they should perform? And again, in the public hearings, we also indicated that as the methodology dictates, they made their own valuation, but they omitted critical factors, one being the efficiency, and secondly, the performance of the assets. So that is not included here. So all of those things, they tell you that what is before us is not something that we have accepted. We are saying that it is here, but obviously there's more work, because we've never undertaken a study even with an independent consultant, put in terms of reference, allow Eskom to respond, and also from our side, and come up with a regulatory asset base that we can adopt. By the way, the methodology does speak to also even the method of valuating that the valuation of the RAB. So we will come to a point where on our own adopt a value that we are of the view that it is prudent.
By the way, just to finally to say that we do publish a detailed reason for decision. So most of the calculations and how we arrive at certain figures will be in there, including any adjustments to RAB and some of the detailed questions that they've been asked. So we will do so.
Can I only take one question because there is one pending question? If ever it's a pending question. Yes, Antoinette.
I just want to ask, when the reasons of decision can be explained?
Again, I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Masat.
And he's the chairperson, he must account for that. Because I'll pass it on to the energy regulator to take a decision. But I think without committing, most of the work has been done, just the style and making sure that the way it is written, it will be understood, it will be simplified and be understandable to the members of the public. So I did not want to commit to April. We were looking to 2 months, Mr. Modise. That's not the decision of the energy regulator.
No, yeah, let me just say that we go through processes with a reason for decisions on tonight. Not only do we consider them, we have to give it to a licensee to identify any aspects that they consider confidential. So we have those processes that we follow, and I think we'll say we'll try and expedite them as much as we can. I think suffices to say that in arriving at a decision, we've been working on draft reason for decision. So it's not like we've made a decision and now we're going to start reason for decision. So they underlie all the work that we do, and but we have to follow the processes that are required. Thank you.
Colleagues, we've come to the end of the briefing, and once more, thank you very much for your patience and understanding. And will you please try to thank you.
Let's take in the stuff. Let's take in the stuff.